I want to talk to you tonight about song sharks and rip-offs in the music business. My first 3 songs I registered with the copyright office were Dreaming of Meeting You, Love's Progression, and damn, I can't remember the other song. But anyways, it was sometime in 2000, I think, real early in 2000. Well, no, 1999, something. Damn if I know. But anyways, I'd called Oprah Winfrey's father around this time too and begged him to go to bat to Oprah Winfrey for me so I could sing one of my songs a cappella on Oprah Winfrey's show. Of course, I didn't have music back then. I still don't have music now. Well, he was non-committal. Basically, doesn't want to help some white trash like me, I guess. Because it doesn't help them, because he just can't identify with me. And anyways, enough on that. Anyways, all of a sudden I'm getting these 3 letters from 3 record companies. Amerecord, Hollywood Stars Music Production, and Hilltop Records. And I'm thinking, damn, maybe he did go to bat for me after all. Man, he's got some power. All of a sudden 3 record companies are contacting me, and of course I thought Oprah's dad did it. And I opened up those letters. It's like, are you presently looking to get your songs produced with music? Why not give us a try? We have shared the stage with Celine Dion, Earth, Wind and Fire, whatever, a whole bunch of artists, and they're like, you will get royalties, we will get you radio play. I'm thinking, man, this is the package. And $330 from Hollywood Stars Music Productions, and it was $300 for the other 2. And so I showed the contract, and it came with a contract in there. I showed it to my dad, and he said it looked legit. Why not give us a try? Well, as I understood it back then, they were going to get somebody else to sing my song, but hey, you have to get a start. You have to start somewhere in the music business. Dad was always telling me, look, Willie Nelson started writing songs for Patsy Cline and such. And then once he got big enough, he could say, hey, I'm singing these songs. You might have to do the same thing, Chris. So anyways, I write my first check for $330 to Hollywood Star, to Amerecord, $300 or something like that. And then I write a check for $33 to the other record company. A few days later, I get a letter from Taxi, A&R Vehicle, and they're explaining, where did we get your name and number from? We got it from the Copyright Office under the Freedom of Information Act. Anytime you register a copyright, it's available. Your information is available to all. And then it went on to explain how these companies were song sharks, and gave list the name of an entertainment attorney, Andrea Brower. So I called her, and she mentioned the 3 record companies, and she said, oh no, they're bad. I checked them with the Better Business Bureau. Taxi had an A+ rating, or satisfactory. Back then it was satisfactory rating. It wasn't. That's what it was back then. And I checked up the 3 record companies who had just sent me the letter. Theirs was unsatisfactory. One thing that really got my attention was this: when Taxi wrote, think of it, would Warner Brothers or a record company like them ask you to pay them to produce your song? No, they're going to invest money and time in you, expecting to get a big return because they believe in your song. And that's why I joined the Taxi, but that's a whole nother story. I'm still with Taxi today. I highly recommend it to any of you. 1-800-458-2111. If you're a songwriter, aspiring singer, artist, songwriter, call them, ask to speak to Michael Lasco, and tell him Wildman Chris sent you. Well, enough on that. I got a little leaflet from this company called Talent 2000. The owner was Carlo. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to give his whole name. And the brochure said, send us your music. If we approve you, we guarantee you to give you a record deal or give you your money back. I'm like, Well, I see on another, I find their advertisement in another magazine or something like that, and this one, or a card, and it said, and this card, that's guaranteed to give you double your money back if they don't get your record deal. Well, desperate man that I was back then, having absolutely no contacts in the biz, except with the newly joined taxi, I called him, and he had like 4 plans basically. I decided to get the most expensive one and pay him in installments, because it was something like $950 or $1,000, I can't remember. And part of the plan was you'd get a website, you're going to get your own website. They would submit your songs to 30 record companies, 30 management. And so I told him what I wanted my domain name to be. I wanted to start my website immediately, and he kept telling me, we're setting up. Days, weeks passed. I had sent my second check by then. By the next month, I typed in wildmanchris.com. Still getting this. There's no website by this name. So I called him up. Where's my website? And I saw on their website, talent2k.com, where there's a singer named Romina Arena. And so I wrote I wrote an email to her because she was pretty. And next you know, I'm getting a suspicious email from Talent 2000, written in all caps except for what should be the capital letters, and they're written in their lowercase letters, talking about how I'm a wonderful person, this, that. I mean, how does she know I'm a wonderful person? We never even met or corresponded before, except that first letter I sent to her. Because I wanted to taught someone who had successfully made it. So that was suspicious. I finally called some stop payments on those checks and ditched Talent 2000. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the bogus record companies. I called the stop payment just in time on those checks. Well, on the $300 one anyway. The other one got through, but it was only for $33. And anyways, fast forward to 2003. Carlos still owns the company, but the main contact man is a man named, his initials are HK. Real strange name. I wonder if it's a alias, because sounds almost a ridiculous name. Anyways, I sent in my material, and they said they like it, especially the song "War in the City." And so I decided to get the $450 plan, where they submit my songs. I think it was 10 record companies and 10 management labels. But that's all to do. And he's like, Chris, it's going to take some time, but we will get you the record deal. Well, finally, a year or so later, they kept me abreast of the companies they had sent. They had sent it to companies. They didn't name the companies, and so far they were all were not interested in my stuff or passing on it. But finally, I get a call from Jet Speed Records, and they're going to send me a contract. And if I have any questions, to call up and ask them. So I get the contract in the mail, and I'm reading over it, and it looks legit, and it's like 6 or 7 pages long. But there's this one clause in it where you have to sell so many of your CDs, and if you don't, the contract is null and void. And my mom looked over it, and even my mom, she has absolutely no knowledge whatsoever about the music business. Even she knew something was amiss with that. I showed my preacher, who's had experience in the music business, and he's like, Chris, don't sign this. This is a ripoff. I called Andrea Brower, remember her, the entertainment attorney, and asked about it. She's like, well, fax me the contract. If it's good, I'll tell you how much I charge to advise you on it. If it's bad, I'll just tell you for free. Well, I sent it, faxed it to me, and I called her. She's like, Chris, do not sign this contract. 10 years ago, there was this record company, Statue Records. They were shut down because they ripped off so many people. the wording on this contract looks exactly like the wording that was on their contract. I'm not saying they're the same company, but this could be the same company under a different name. I forgot to mention I had called Jet Speed Records with my question, and I started asking probing questions. The woman got really defensive. Look, we're just a small record label. We're not a big record label. We can only do so much. And that was a red flag right there. I'm telling you, Talent 2000 was bragging back then, was bragging about their A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. And I called Talent 2000 and told them that the record company that had offered me the contract was a bogus record company. Could I either get my money back, or could they try to give me another record deal? To this day, they've done neither. I want my damn $450 back. I'm not going to get it back. But look on the bright side. If you look up the Better Business Bureau today and type in Talent 2K, they got an F rating. That it finally caught up to their ass. If you are with Talent 2000 trying to get your music shopped to the record labels, I see a dick in your future, just like I had in mine. And here's the kicker. In 2000, I saw a picture of Carlo with a guy who worked at Elektra Records, and I called Elektra Records. Robert Fontazzi was his name, and asked if there was a Robert Fontazzi who worked there, and he even spoke to me. And I know it was Elektra Records because I dialed 411 first and asked for Elektra Records. I think it was in New York. So here's the deal. Here's what it is. He can guarantee you a record contract. But see, here's the kicker. It can be a bogus record contract. You see, you can get a record contract, a record deal, and the record company not be obligated to try to sell one record in the record store. It's all about making that money, that almighty dollar, and scamming people. No, it's not a scam. It's just unethical, because they're technically keeping up their end of the deal. They're getting you the record deal, but more likely than not, unless you're damn good, it's a bogus record deal. Now they came through for Good Charlotte. I will say that, but Good Charlotte had their act together, and the really great bands we picked up by the legitimate record labels. He'll make sure of that. With their crappy bands, he's got your money. He's got to come through and give you the record deal, or he has to refund your money. So he's got his crony. He's got his shitty record companies who will be glad to come in for him. I don't know, he probably split some of the money with them. But anyways, if you're with Talent 2000, you got a dick in your future. Unless you're damn good, you've got a dick in your future. Do not sign with Talent 2K. They will fuck you. They did me, or they did me. I still want my $450 fucking dollars back. But well, they did offer me a contract, and if you reject your contract, they're not obligated to refund you money, even if it is a bogus record company. Ain't that some shit? I'm telling you, it is a cold, cruel, heartless world out there. Only those who make it to the top can survive. Those of us on the bottom get shit on by those on the top. What is it they say? Shit, it gets bigger as it rolls down the hill. Does it get bigger as it drops from the sky down your head? I can say yes, from personal experience. I want to make it to the top. And when I do, I'm not going to shit on those below me. I know what it feels like.